I did earlier because I was all over the place. I just wanted to get one message out. If there's any star seeds out there that have a story to tell, that want to talk about their awakening and that want to share their experience with us, we would love to hear it. No matter what, if you're willing to take the time to come on air and talk about your experiences, whether it's with UFOs, awakening, spirituality, angels, star beings, you name it, anything that pertains to our community, you're welcome to come on. That's kind of how I cut my teeth doing this years ago. I had done some shows. I was a co-host on a show called The Cosmic Awakening that was on N5D, Greg Prescott's network. Big, big. I mean, a lot of people were tuned into that. I mean, I think he's got like a 500,000 likes on his page. But then at the same time, that kind of fizzled out. But at the same time, I was starting my own YouTube channel, Pleiadian Express Productions. I got this after my awakening and my contacts with the Pleiadians. Between that and the movie Pineapple Express, I thought, hey man, I'm going to call it Pleiadian Express Productions. And then it wasn't long after that I got an idea to do a second one called the Pleiadian Light Grid Project. And these are both pages on Facebook too, keep in mind. But the Pleiadian Light Grid Project was initially, I mean, it went all over the place. There's crazy stuff on there. But initially what I had intended that for was for my channelings and for experimental stuff, like my comedy, like my Starseed comedy I do on there, like with the Insomniac Stalker series, part 1 and 2, this guy from the Pleiades that stalks people around town who he overhears having insomnia. It's really wild. And then I did a series about worshiping the nicotine gods and being grateful that they brought nicotine to Earth to get us all hooked. Just funny stuff like that, and my serious channelings. But I kept the PEP typically for serious talk, spiritual talk. I had a lot of great guests on over the years. A lot of known guests that were on big time shows like Coast to Coast. But also, I had what I would do is I would just on the fly, I ran all these groups, right? Pleiadian groups, Arcturian groups, things like that. And I would pick somebody, or I would just go, hey, why don't you want to go on air now? You want to tell your story? Come on, it'll take me 5 minutes to set it up. I'll send you the link. Bam, you can click on it and come in. Okay, so, that's how I cut a lot of my teeth doing this, was interviewing just regular people. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to turn the camera away. See, that's another thing I don't do. I don't really go on Back when I used to do these shows, see, I stopped for 5 years, almost 6 years. I quit. A lot of reasons why, marriage thing, and I needed to get away from it. But the channel was still there. But we used to do it through Google Hangout. I'd have to set it up through Google Hangout, run it through YouTube, and then send the person the link to get in. Well, what happened was, a few months ago, I started doing shows again. I started doing just talks because I couldn't figure out how YouTube had changed the way that they live streamed. And I thought maybe I had it in my head for some reason that maybe my account didn't qualify to be able to live stream, to bring other guests in, like to bring people on with me. I don't know why I thought that, but I kept looking and looking and trying to figure out how to do it. And I even had a girl that used to do shows on my network for me all the time, and she actually ran it for me for a while. Bridget Rao, now the girl's got like 15,000 of her own subscribers, but she even tried to work with me a couple months ago, and she made all these tutorials for me, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out how to live stream. I'm like, nah, I'm missing something, but I don't. It's weird. It was almost like it wasn't meant to happen till now, because it was so obvious, yet I couldn't understand it. Well, last night, lo and behold, I'm screwing around, going through the settings, the analytics, and it hit me what to try to do to hit this. I kept hitting this button at the bottom of the screen, this like plus button that would give you the ability to post videos and upload them to YouTube. And I saw the live tab, but I just clicked on it once, and I thought it was only for me to be able to go live. I didn't see where there was an option to invite people in. Well, lo and behold, last night, it must have been meant to be, because I went to that live tab, and then it showed how to bring guests in. You have an option whether to just do it by yourself or hit this button, and you can bring somebody in with a link, and then you can provide the link to as many people as you want to come in, um, to listen and comment, or maybe they just want to watch and comment. But so what I'm saying is like, if there is anybody out there that has a story to tell, I already have one lady. Pleiadian Transmission of Light is the name she goes by. Octavia, God, I'm gonna get her last name wrong. Octavia Vasile. I've seen her around a lot over the years, and she contacted me, and that's going to be a cool show to do. And I've got a couple other people I'm thinking of too. It's really exciting to have this happen again. And so some of the shows, like I might do here on the Light Grid, and most of them I might do on PEP, depending on the subject. Light Grid, like I said, was usually kept for my channeling and comedy and experimental type shows. Like I did a series with my childhood best friend. We did 24 shows together. Um, we call him Mr. X on the show. So if you ever see Larry Locken and Mr. X, yeah, it's a 24 show series on the Light Grid Project. It's pretty funny. It's really hilarious. In fact, we have, there was this blood moon back about 8 years ago going on, right? And we were listening to shortwave radio, and we decided to play this prank and we posted these two videos saying that we picked up these aliens giving us codes on the shortwave radio, and people bought it and shit. I mean, one of the videos has 1,300 views. The other one has about 800. Yeah. Mysterious shortwave transmission on the blood moon is what it's called, I think. They're on the Light Grid Project if you scroll down here. But yeah, there's one part where we decided to fuck with people, and um, um, we decided to say the words "get along," but we deciphered it with using numbers of the alphabet. Like, I don't know how many letters in G is, but 7 letters in, like 7, 6, 5, 2, whatever it was, right? And we went around saying them like 3 or 4 times, and we had all these people convinced that we'd picked up these extraterrestrial transmissions, and all these people were messaging me deciphering it, like, oh, I got it deciphered. It means this. The 7 is the G. They're saying get along. Yeah, well, and shit like that. But that's what we would do. Hey, I see you there, Elva Castillo. How are you? Oh, I don't know if I'm an amazing YouTuber, man. I used to be, though. I used to be one hell of a baller on here, dude. I'm getting there. I'm trying to get my groove back. Like I said, I wasn't active for 5 years until about 2.5 months ago. And I said, fuck it. And I started, because I'm going through divorce, I started doing my own talks, but I couldn't figure out how to link people in. Now I know how to do it and go live. But what I was doing was I would tape them, and then I would upload the show. I'd tape it on my phone. I'm tired. I'm a little more laxed on this channel. I get a little bit more serious when we're doing it on Pleiadian. The other one you need to subscribe to then is Pleiadian Express Productions. Okay, I do have one other one besides that, but it's got one show on it that I used to do this show on the PEP with this really cool lady, Jane Hermstead, really bright woman from Norway. And we decided to create the Arcturian Crystalline Grid Project, which has a page on Facebook too. But we did one show on there and never really promoted it, but it got over 1,000 views. And then I did 2 channelings back about that same time, right? Okay, forgot all about the channel. So just a couple weeks ago, I did one more channel on there from the Arcturians, man, and they really put me through the ringer. It was 52 minutes, man, that they wouldn't stop in my ear. It was crazy. I only expected them to do it for about 20 minutes or so, but it was nearly an hour. So there's that, but the Pleiadian Express Productions is the main one. But here, I'll give you a little tip if you go there. You're not going to see all my videos under the videos tab. You're going to have to go to live. Okay, there's the tabs up there. There's video and this and that. Video, something else, and video, shorts, live. Yeah, a lot of they're split up. Some of my shows are on video tab, some of them are on the live tab. I don't know why they have it. But I have to explain that because if people are going to go look at it, I want them to be able to have access to all the shit I've done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm having an okay day, man. I got to go to town after a while, 3D crap. Yeah, I got to get a couple shirts and some paint, some Dockers and shit. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, and plus, oh, I take care of my elderly parents. They're going to go with me. Yeah, they, I indulge them in their elderly golden years, though. I was an only child. That's why it's cool when I got on here, right? I started meeting all these cool star sisters from. I must have like I've met thousands of cool people, dude, on here, and I man, every star sister I meet is amazing, and it's strange because they tend to be. I'm 49, and they're all, except for six of them, they're all between 50 and 55 years old. It's weird. It's really bizarre. All of them. And they're all really ascended, like higher dimensional women. And the three that are younger than me, it's funny, they're all 42, and, like 30 of them are between 50 and 55, and then two are 68. It's strange, so I consider the three of them my little star sisters. The other ones are my big star sisters, except for the two that are 68. They're my star aunties. So, but I always craved a sister growing up because I was an only child. I was home alone at night. Parents worked, and partying, you know, using drugs before I got into law enforcement. So I had quite a life before I awakened. I was into politics really deep. I've met 5 presidents. I've worked on 9 presidential campaigns. So it's really weird. And my story of how I first had contact with the Pleiadians was weird. It was a fluke. We had company staying over, my wife and I at the time. Her mom was in town staying over. I had a really badass migraine and went to bed early. And then I was going to turn on turn on the radio and listen to my political talk I did every night. Pick up a station out of San Francisco. It's about 500 miles south of us. But you could pick up AM really good at night back then. And then it was out. For some reason, they were working on it that night. So the station was down, it was out. So I turned it to this other station. They weren't even talking about the Pleiadians, but they mentioned the Pleiadians in passing on there. They were talking about they were talking about the Greys or some shit, some paranoid bullshit like that. And then, they mentioned the Pleiadians in passing. And I heard that word and I'm like, huh. It's really weird because I sat with it. I didn't think it was really cool, but I didn't think it was bad. I was like, huh. It was really a strange feeling when I heard that word, Pleiadians. And then the shit ensued after that, man. The synchronicities, the few dreams I had, the one visit by reptilians when I told them to get the fuck out of the room after I was half asleep. Never really dealt with that negative shit much. But man, then I was just drawn to go to YouTube. I was getting all this shit off downloads of consciousness. And then for about 2 years, I was getting the same downloads at the same time these two other guys were doing YouTube before I was. This guy, Olaj777, you had to check him out. Man, for 2 years, him and I were getting the same downloads at the same time. It was really a wild time. But I'm all over the place right now. And so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut it with this. But if anybody's interested, you can hit me up on Facebook at Larry Locken. I do have an alternate account, the Looney Lyran. Well, there's 2 Looney Lyrans. They're both mine. The one Looney Lyran I don't have access to anymore with an E between the N and the Y. The Looney Loony Lyran, that's me, but I can't get Messenger with him. It's weird. So you just got to find me. It's my picture that you'll see with the rainbows coming off of it, right? Okay. So, or you can hit me up at Instagram, at Rocken Larry Locken at Instagram, and on TikTok it's just Rocken Locken, I believe. I don't know. I just changed it, so we'll see. But anyway, that's it, and I'm out. And yeah, Make sure you go to Pleiadian Express Productions, subscribe there, subscribe here, hit that like button. You know what I mean? I'm going to do a little sales promotion right now. Go on to Facebook, like the Arcturian Crystalline Grid project page, Pleiadian Express Productions page, Pleiadian Light Grid page. I've also got the Blu-ray Soul Guidance for Blu-ray Souls out there. If you're born in the late 50s to the late 70s and you're in our realm, chances are you're a Blu-ray. If not, you're one of the few that are angels, and I've only met 3 of them that came in at that time that are actually angelic beings, not Blu-rays. Check out that page. Check out the next one is gonna be a show that I run through that, or maybe not my next show, but this one I've been planning for a long time is gonna be through the Syrian Egyptian pyramid connection. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk really in depthly about the roles that beings in different collectives from the Sirius star system played in Earth's humanity. I mean, they influenced, I'll just give you a preview, they influenced the Sumerians, the Greeks, the Babylonians, the Egyptians, of course, indigenous people in Asia, even the Dogon tribe of Central Africa, big time. A lot of Native American tribes were, hooked on that star. And what I believe is those beings were actually here in antiquity and helped in a way. They all had different agendas. It wasn't just the same group of Syrians that helped each of these different, these different civilizations out here on Earth. I mean, they were from different parts of the Sirius star system, and some of them had good agendas, some of them didn't. It's kind of how before Sirius finally ascended, they were they were really ruthless when they teamed up with Orion billions of years ago when they were destroying stuff, and then they got into a war with Orion. I guess they were kind of the good side of that, and then then after that they had a big ass civil war in in the Sirius star system. The good side, the light, went out, and now they're pretty much with the Arcturians and Pleiadians. But yeah, it's been a long haul for them all. The Pleiadians had civil wars with each other for hundreds of millions of years, squabbling, shooting out each other throughout their and the Pleiadians are from Lyra, people. Lyra had a big time galactic war with Orion about 1 billion years ago and really did some damage to parts of Lyra. And a lot of Lyrans fled there to colonize the Pleiades. And of course the Lyrans were seeded by the Arcturians. And the Arcturians helped the Pleiadians ascend. We're with them all the time. Just like the Pleiadians are helping Earth humans out, the Arcturians did the same thing for the Pleiadians, only they did it for a hell of a lot longer. Yeah, and what I could never figure out, though, is it came to me in channeling, like, how long ago that the Arcturians were, say, like humanoids like us here on Earth. It's about a quintillion Earth years ago, when they were, like, in our form and before their star system ascended. But what I could never figure out, though, was who, and I beat my head against the wall doing this for years, I tried to get in channeling who seeded them here. The only thing I know is they're not from our galaxy, because the Arcturians were the first. So somebody outside of our very young galaxy, all those quintillion years ago, seeded the Arcturians here. It was a race from somewhere outside of the Milky Way. And who knows? And then who seeded them? So it goes to show you that life is just, it's so long that time doesn't exist. It can't possibly. I mean, it's a long time ago, and think about how young of a galaxy we are. I mean, it's infinite. It's more than infinity, the number of years that, if you were to put it in Earth in 3D terms. Anyway, yeah. So, anyway, check my stuff out on Pleiadian Express Productions. I did a talk about dimensions not too long ago, what it's like to be in each one of them from 4 to 13. What entities, beings, star beings are like, in those different realms, what the air is like, what the atmosphere is like in each of those dimensions. So I talk about that, and I've got a lot of old stuff that's pretty cool too. So, check out both channels and get what resonates with you, and if it don't go with it. Anyway, that's about it. I'm out. How do I stop it? Oh.